Good evening, Daytrippers. Today we've seen a watershed moment in the Premier League. Liverpool winning at Old Trafford 5-0. An emphatic victory against the down-and-out Manchester United. I like to refer to this current Manchester United team, and I reference Jamie Carragher, as a team of son-in-laws. Let's roll the intro.
All right, mate.
I'm all right. I don't know about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oof. He's going to be sweating in that dressing room, I think. Could be his last day on the job after that.
Look,
wow.
Everything in context. The sheer brilliance of Liverpool Football Club today in this game underpins where we are in terms of our title credentials, and United are just in the mud. They're in the mud. It's a dark day for Manchester United Football Club. For Liverpool to come to Old Trafford and totally dismantle Manchester United, sweep them aside as if they're just not even there. Every goal was easy. It was easy. Every goal was just easy. There wasn't any goal which I feel that we worked hard for. Every goal was easy, and we were in third gear. We were in third gear, and a much depleted Liverpool side. Let's talk about the changes. No Fabinho.
Yeah. No, I looked at the lineup, and I think I wasn't alone when you think, oh, Canate, and that's a big shout. He's not played in over a month. You know, Matip and Van Dijk, you know, they can't play every minute of every game, of course. But, you know, seeing them both start against Watford, you think, well, if you were going to rest them, it would have been in preparation for this Atletico Man United week, but he didn't. So that was a bit of a surprise. Fabinho with a knock, obviously disappointing. He's a big blow in the way that we play, but we didn't really need him today, to be brutally honest. And Diogo Jota shows that, you know, he is more than capable of coming in on the left or through the middle for the rest of the front three. And the level doesn't really drop, does it? I mean, Mane has been in fantastic form, but I think Jota got a goal and an assist today as well. So, yeah, in terms of the lineup, you know, Man United, I think, was the same 11 that started against Atalanta, which was a bit of a surprise, bearing in mind they were 2-0 down at half-time on that day. But, yeah, Liverpool are using their squad, and, you know, we've got 14, 15 players that we can rely on that don't really weaken the team. And, you know, that's amazing to have, bringing in a Canate and a Jota. You know, the 11 is still supreme. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised, but, you know, Klopp vindicated, really.
I mean, totally. Canate didn't break a sweat. Like, he didn't break a sweat. Like, it was too easy. There's a comment in here as well. Where's it gone? And I want to bring this up because there it is.
Yeah.
It was all day long. It was boys versus men, juniors versus seniors. Same with the managers, right across the whole entire club v club, the ultimate rivalry, the biggest game in English history, the biggest game, most watched game in world football. And United offered absolutely sweet FA. Do you know what? I can't even look for a bad point. And if I'm really digging, there was a chance when they ran off Keita, and I thought, we're in for another Naby Keita horror show.
Yeah, I remember
this afternoon. And then he turns around and says, "Do you know what? No, fuck you, Thiago's father. I'm going to stick one in the back of the net." do you know what I mean? And I was sitting there thinking to myself,
carries on his goal scoring form.
Yeah, and it was insane. So let's get into the goals, because arguably Naby Keita just like he ghosts into the position. I don't even think he meant it. Let's be honest. I don't even think he meant it.
I mean, it's there was a stat that came up about United's defense, and it was like errors leading to goals and all this kind of thing. 18th, 20th, like the worst in the league. And I looked at that goal, and you're only 5 minutes in, and they're so open. They're almost the whole back four is kind of shuffled to the right. They've all kind of taken each other's man, and then all we've got to do is kind of pass it along that line until there's an open slot. And Naby Keita's one-on-one, and it's almost like slow motion. You're kind of looking around thinking, is there another defender beyond that camera angle that we can see? Is he offside? And he's not. And you think he just got to slides it in past the hay. It wasn't even a brilliant finish. It was quite close to his foot, but it was so close to the goal.
It was timid.
It was a timid finish, but obviously it was a great goal from a team perspective. And you're kind of looking around like, was it seriously that easy to take the lead at Old Trafford? Because let's be fair, we've been at Old Trafford numerous times with a better team on paper, and we've struggled to break them down. And it's been, we've had 0-0s and we've had defeats, and to go 1-0 up after 5 minutes, you think, all right, I'm almost not celebrating it because I'm thinking, well, there's a hell of a long way to go. It's not going to be that easy for the rest of the game. And then 6 minutes later, it's 2, and you're thinking, oh, okay.
I mean, we were in the group chat, and the shock on everybody was just unreal. Like you said, 6 minutes later, Jota's making the run at the far post, and the expression "we were queuing up" is there. If Jota weren't putting it in, Millie's putting it in. We were queuing up just to bury that ball in the back of the net. United caught napping again, and like you're saying, you're almost thinking that there's a bit of luck. We're sitting there thinking, this is lucky. They're going to come out and respond. They've got Ronaldo. Yeah, they've got Ronaldo on the pitch. They've got Bruno on the pitch. Rashford looked bright and looked effective in some areas, trying to run the channels. You're sitting there thinking, Mason Greenwood looked a little bit bright as well. They started perking up. McFred actually looked a little bit bright. McTominay was intercepting stuff in the middle of the park. We looked a little bit wasteful in the middle of the park. And we're sitting there thinking, they're gonna clap back.
There was a little bit of a time, wasn't there? Because the 13th minute to the 38th minute, you're approaching the half time. You're thinking 2-0. If we get in at 2-0, that's good. If they get one back just before half time, that second half's a big 45 minutes. And I completely agree. They started to come into the game, but once we got that third one, it was I think that was the goal, wasn't it? That killed them off really, with the Mo Salah first of his 3.
Yeah, and look. We're just going to take a moment of silence just to indulge and bask in the quality and the beauty of Mo Salah. So everybody, put your hands
human being
on the liver bird. What a beautiful human being Mo Salah is. Yeah, because, mate, the superlatives for this man, just you can't. How long can we keep on denying his excellency? As Liverpool fans and as football fans, when do we get to a point where we just turn around and say he's the best in the world? He's the best in world football right now. Ronaldo today looked lethargic, looked uninterested, looked like he's made the wrong move. Why did I leave Juve to come into this trash? Messi again has stuttered at points in this season and struggled to fit in at PSG, whereas Mohamed Salah has just come out of the blocks firing. A hattie at Old Trafford. The last player to do it, Dirk Cow. I was like, wow.
Yeah. But, was that the one at home though? Went it from a total of 3 yards for all 3 goals.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Mohamed Salah. And do you know what? Shout out to the football terrace, because Terry Flewers has been saying this for a long, long time. He's been saying this for a long time. And to all 29 of you in the chat right now, we have to now acknowledge him as one of, if not the greatest Liverpool player of the Premier League era. It is now time to crown this man as our greatest of the Premier League era. He's 29. Premier League title, Champions League title, Club World Cup, European Super Cup. So he's got the world treble. He's got the Premier League. What if he goes on and lifts the Prem again this year?
Yeah.
And then maybe not this year, but next year continues the form and gets a Ballon d'Or. Like, there's no contest. Steven Gerrard meant everything to us. Everything to us. But if he does that, there is no contest.
No, I mean, we ran out of superlatives when me and you went to Watford, when we went to Vicarage Road, didn't we? Because he'd scored that wonder goal against City the week before against, pretty much the best team, or at least one of the top three that we're currently seeing in the Premier League. He does that against Watford, and you're just like, oh my God. And, a hat-trick at Old Trafford. I know they're not in the best place right now, but 15 goals in 12 games this season. I mean, these are Messi, Ronaldo prime numbers. When you're getting more goals than games, Erling Haaland has done something similar. Lewandowski has done something similar. These are very, very, very special players. And I completely agree with everything you've just said. In terms of pure ability and talent, he's the best we've ever seen. In terms of, every single Liverpool fan classing him as the best Liverpool player in the Premier League era, because Gerrard's a homegrown boy, because he was at our club for such a long time. And let's be fair, without Steven Gerrard at the club for the time he was there, we wouldn't have won anything. We wouldn't have come in the top four, probably maybe once or twice without him, because he was that important. He made that much of a difference. There's no way Fernando Torres signs for us if Gerrard's not there. It doesn't happen. So he was that important, and he was there for such a long time. But I agree, if Mo Salah goes on and wins another Premier League and wins another Champions League and wins a Ballon d'Or, I'm sorry, but the conversation is over, isn't it? He's already there with ability. He's already there with goals. It's just crowning him, getting these trophies for the facts and saying, do you know what? Yep, Gerrard wasn't a prolific goal scorer. He's good at other things. But if Mo Salah is getting the trophies individually, the team trophies, and the goal record just keeps on getting better, there's no more arguments. And, the goals today, one into the box, like a kind of Predator number 9, one from kind of a bit further out, a great finish into the bottom corner, and a one-on-one that he looked like he'd overrun it, and he got so much pace outside of his left foot, just dinks it over De Gea. 3 brilliantly taken goals, all quite different to each other, and he's got absolutely everything. He's adored by the fans. I think he was doing a Pepsi advert in Liverpool and I think they ended up having to cancel the filming because everybody just realised he was there and wanted to be part of it. But yeah, he's just unbelievable. And like you say, Gerrard was there for such a long time. He scored so many goals for us and was in some absolutely shocking teams. I think Salah just overtook his Champions League goal record for Liverpool, but I think there was probably 7-8 years of Gerrard's Liverpool career we weren't even playing in the Champions League. So he's very fortunate to be here at the right time. But we say about Gerrard's impact on Liverpool getting better players and improving. Salah was a very early signing for Liverpool, and the fact that he was so good, from the very first game, we've been able to sign better players, Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, because Salah has taken us from 8th place with Klopp all the way up to title winners and Champions League winners. So it's a very, very similar thing that he's done, just in a much shorter time because we've got much better players around it. But yeah, he is the best player we've ever had.
So for me, I think we're now going to start witnessing, and I've been saying it, the Salah effect. This is what I think we're going to start witnessing because, like you're saying, players, not only did they want to play for Liverpool Football Club, but they're going to want to play with the best player in world football.
Exactly. It's like Messi, isn't it?
Exactly, spot on. It now becomes easier to attract top talent. Now, as I said on our show yesterday, and there's a couple of comments in there talking about FSG. Let's be very clear. I'm not FSG out. I'm FSG step the fuck up. That's where I'm at. Yeah. It's now time for FSG to step up. Yeah. We have to go out and cement our position as the best Premier League team. Yeah. That now means sustained investment. Yeah. Each summer we go out and we add another piece to that jigsaw because these players are now starting to mature. Yeah. We now need to push to bring the next talent in. Who's the next Jordan Henderson? Who's the next Sadio Mane? Who's the next Firmino? Who's the next Virgil van Dijk? Who's the next Fabinho? We now need to start legacy planning. to ensure that we maintain these high standards. Last year, we can talk about that as being a blip because we've come out and we've responded. This first 10 games has been unreal. We're 21 games unbeaten in all competitions. It's like we're back to normal. We've clicked back in. I mean, this comment here, Konate was fantastic. He did not break a sweat.
And that's what we need, isn't it?
Didn't break a sweat.
Got Van Dijk and Matip, what are they, 29 and 30, are they? Something around there. And Konate is the next. Yeah, Konate is the next one, isn't he? That's what we've done. With the centre-back position, we've done it. You look at the midfield, we've got Milner's gone off injured, Keita's gone off injured, Fabinho's got a knock, Thiago's been out forever, Jones has come back. We're in, that's the next position to look at, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you touched on this. This is a worry for me. I don't want to ring the alarm bells, but ladies and gentlemen, are we about to witness a midfield injury crisis? We don't know what the report on Naby is at the moment. I'm sure someone will be able to update us in the comments as we're here doing a show for you. Someone might be able to update us in the comments. So Chris Brack, if you can bring us that news, that would be much appreciated. Depending on what the outcome of the end game, you normally hear what's going on with these players. So I'd like to know what's going on with Naby.
Probably a scan tomorrow, won't there?
Potentially. Naby out injured, Milner out injured, Thiago out injured, Elliott out injured.
Fabinho, don't know how. It's just a knock, but he's out injured.
Fabinho out injured. So we've got 5 midfielders out injured. Okay.
And we've got Chamberlain that you're counting as a fit player. He's always one step away.
Exactly. So essentially, Curtis Jones has come back into the squad. We've got Milner and we've got Ox, yeah? So of our 8 midfielders, where they were saying we had quite a lot of depth in that department, we're now down to 3 fit available midfielders. Going into a game against Preston on Wednesday, which is a cup game, I think we'll see some of the kids play. You then got Brighton on the weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see those players start to filter back in, because it is a slight concern for me. Will we dip into the January window and remedy that? Because we've got African Cup of Nations. Naby will disappear. Salah disappears. Mane disappears. Those are slight little concerns, but today we can bask in the victory of hammering our direct rivals for 5-0 at Old Trafford. Mate, it was we will cheers to that.
We will, mate.
We will cheers to that.
Yeah, it was just every single thing was just perfect. And there was a bit, what I thought with the Pogba red card, I expected him to come on, I expected Cavani to come on, but the red card was almost the worst thing that could have happened for Liverpool, because Man United were like, okay, it's now 5-0, we've got 10 men, now we need to just put back 5 and stop it, because let's be fair, Liverpool struggle. We struggled to break down 10-man, Chelsea back 5. It doesn't matter what the score is, we just struggle to break 5 back people down. So I think that was annoying. 40 minutes without a goal in the second half. I know it's splitting hairs, but I would have loved to have. We've conceded 7 before. That still hurts. I wanted to go and score 8 and banish those demons. But there was a PK in our group chat wanted 8, didn't he? But no, it was fantastic. Man United fans leaving at half time, 60th minute. I think the lot of them went, and all you could hear for the whole, pretty much since about the 13th minute, was that corner of Liverpool fans singing every song under the sun, Ollie's at the wheel and everything else. And it was superb, wasn't it? We needed one of them. We needed a revenge tour, and we got one, didn't we?
And this is it. It is the revenge tour. Ultimately, the key thing is, like you said, let's just touch back on that Pogba red card, because that was disgusting. It was a terrible challenge. You look at it in real time, and you're like, ooh, and then when you see the replay, you can see he's gone over the ball. That is just it can only be frustration that's kicked in, because Liverpool was so freaking good. Prior to that, you've got the Ronaldo antics with Curtis Jones, kicking at Curtis Jones. Yes, he's kicked the ball, but Curtis Jones got the ball like near his stomach. He's kicking out, and Virgil van Dijk gives him to the welcome back to the Premier League shove in the back, and Cristiano Ronaldo disappears, thinking, "I don't want none of that."
Yeah, out of it.
That's it. I don't want any of your big Virg. And then, like a true team, the rest of the team rally around all the players, and United just looked dejected, to be honest. And
yeah, happy birthday, Ant, as well, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday to you, pal. Thank you for joining us. It just seems that United was starting to lose control, and the red card for Pogba, kind of compounded that. United were never in control.
I watched Pogba going off after that red card, and he looked like, yeah, I'm happy with that. I wanted to get sent off. I didn't want to be here today. I've come on at 4-0 down at half time. I've been chucked on to try and salvage something. I don't want to work hard. I like playing when we're 3-0 up and I can just float around like a butterfly and pick off little 4 assists against West Brom and whatever it might be. But he looked happy with it. I don't think he wants to be there, and especially not when they're 4-0 down to Liverpool, getting passed off the park. We were like I said in the comments, we were playing with them. Gary Neville said during commentary, Salah this is prime Salah. We've got the best player in the world in his best form of his life, and everybody else is playing football around him. We've got Van Dijk and Konate. Konate is just as calm as you like Van Dijk is. Robertson and Trent up and down all day long. No Fabinho, no problem. It was just so easy, and realistically, like the guys are saying in the comments, we were in third gear for the whole game. That could have been seriously embarrassing. We could easily have got 7 or 8 in that game, but he made a couple of changes. I think realistically, we took our foot off the gas as well once the game had been won. I think it's been a tough week, isn't it? Atletico Madrid as well away was a very, really difficult game, but so impressed with the boys today. And you look at that top 3 now. I think it's 22, 21, and 20 points. We've got the best goal difference again, which I didn't think I'd be saying after Chelsea's win yesterday. So. Away to Old Trafford, yes, is currently not a difficult place to go, but it's a hell of a lot easier than at home to Norwich. So, unbelievable game, unbelievable performance, and hopefully it's going to end in a trophy come May.
You'd like to think so, and it's funny because we talk about the run up of games coming up. Liverpool now start to play the teams which we struggled against last season. Yeah. Our issue wasn't playing against the bigger boys. It was playing against what you'd refer to as the bogey teams, the minnows, not being able to park off a Brighton or a West Brom last year or opposition of that standard. Yeah. So our next game is in the Premier League is against Brighton. Yeah.
Well, we've got, to be fair, you say that, we've got Brighton and West Ham, I think, are 4th and 5th in the next 2 games. So that they're not easy. 1 at home, 1 away. Atletico Madrid sandwiched in between that at home, which you would hope would put that Champions League group to bed. And then we've got Arsenal, Porto, Southampton, and Everton. So a couple of teams in there. I mean, you'd say Southampton are probably down the bottom, but realistically, a lot of those teams are in the top half right now. So not quite what you're saying there, but there's a lot of teams coming up that are going to give us a decent game. So not quite as hard as United run of fixtures coming up, but that's for sure.
You're right. But let's be honest, yeah. Do you expect Brighton to be in the top 5 coming the end of the season?
No, not by the end, but currently
West Ham maybe, because they've showed they've evolved. They've got a goal from Mikel Antonio today to beat Spurs. West Ham have evolved. That's going to be a difficult game.
Good team.
Brighton also is going to be a difficult game. They play some stellar football. Let's be very, very clear, yeah. But what I'm saying is that we look at the run of fixtures, like you said, Brighton, West Ham, Porto sandwiched in. Atletico, Porto sandwiched in between there. Everton on the 1st of December. Yeah, Rafa Benitez is arguably want to try and send a message to the Liverpool
still
faithful.
There after yesterday. Good lord,
if he's still there. Newcastle after that, Leeds after that, and then we go to Chelsea on the 2nd of January. As far as I'm concerned, all of those games, as always, are must wins because. If we go to Chelsea, they're all winnable, but if they are, but they present banana skins. All I'm saying is that, and then you play Chelsea on the 2nd of January, and then it's Palace, Burnley, then Arsenal, then Brighton again. And then Watford again, Villa, Newcastle, Southampton. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost as though we've played the top teams very early on.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We have had City. You know, we were saying on commentary, we've had City, we've had Chelsea, we've had United. This is United's first game against a top 6 team, and they've been annihilated. So, you know, all right, we've drawn at home to two of the bigger teams. We didn't lose. We lost to both of them at home last season, like you were saying with the revenge tour. So, you know, I said last night on our show, and guys, if you've not subscribed to the Red Sea podcast, we are 20 subscribers away. So please, if you're one of the 42 watching, just click on the Red Sea podcast.
19
now. Go to the Red Sea podcast, click subscribe, and get us to 500. You could do it right now because I guaranteed not all 44 of you are subscribed, and we could be on 500. But I said last night on our show on the Fab Four that you're going to see a return of expected results. You're going to see 2 or 3 teams disappear into the distance now because COVID, no fans, it leveled the playing field. There were some very strange results. No one's getting 99, 100 points last couple of seasons last season, sorry. And then this year you're seeing 3 teams pretty much swat every single other team away. You know, I think Man City got 4 against Brighton. You know, I know Chelsea played Norwich, but they've been on a cracking run of form as well. And look at us.
But this is just it. This is just it, right? This is just it, yeah. And this is why these run of fixtures that we've got coming up is so important.
Yeah,
we've proved that
minch,
we can't give a minch. We've proved that we can kick it with the big boys. We can take it to the big boys. United, regardless of their woes currently, they are a manager away from sorting their issues out.
Is it that easy though? With this group of players, is it that simple? Is it one man? Because there's guys in the comments saying he could go tonight. Yes. I wasn't sure. You know, I said last night, even if we win 4-0, he doesn't go. But after that shambolic performance and the state of Shaw and Maguire and Lindelof in that back four, good Lord.
They are. Look, let's be very clear, yeah? When you've got a lineup, of Ronaldo, or you've got a team full of Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, La Decima Varane, in there. La Decima Ronaldo in there. De Gea, Luke Shaw, who's an outstanding fullback on his day.
Today. The Shaw Robertson debate is done. Let's be clear.
Oh yeah, it's over. It was over ages ago, but it was over ages ago. Fuck it. It never started. But anyway, he's a decent fullback on his day. We saw his good performances for England in the Euros. He's a decent fullback on his day. Let's give him his flowers, all right? You've then got Bruno in the midfield. You've got Greenwood, who's arguably, an heir apparent. You've got Cavani in there. You've got Martial in that squad. Pogba in that squad. The list goes on.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should not be getting a tune out of those players. Even if you don't want to play for the manager, you want to fucking play for yourself. Yeah. They've down tools. All it's going to take is for a top draw manager to come in there, same as a Tuchel effect that we've seen at Chelsea, to come in there and galvanise that team. It's a worry for me.
Yeah, it is a worry. I think they need a total clear out. You know, you've got Mike Phelan in there still, who, we mentioned again on the Red Sea podcast last night that really Ollie is a puppet. You've got Sir Alex Ferguson in there, pretty much telling him what to do, how to talk, how to handle the players. And Mike Phelan was right-hand man of Fergie for years, now right-hand man for Ollie. It doesn't work anymore. Mike Phelan needs to go. You got Michael Carrick as like first team coach. Come on. Bang average player. Get rid. Who's the bloke that does the TV screens on the iPads? Get rid of him. Get rid of the whole back line, the whole coaching team. Yeah. And like you say, they got to bring in a Zinedine Zidane with the coaching team that won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. And then we will really see, is it Ollie or is there a disease in this squad? Because we've seen it with Arsenal. They've changed their manager. Again, it's not really worked. Again, there's a problem in that Arsenal squad. And I think realistically, I look at, as I mentioned, I look at Pogba's reaction to getting sent off. I look at Ronaldo. The attitude in there is not right. And Neville made a really interesting comment. He was saying, this United team can't press. My under-12s can press, right? Greenwood won't press. Rashford won't press. Ronaldo won't press. How much are they getting paid? Sorry?
But this is it. This is it. That's, you took the words out of my mouth. Can't or won't. It's very different. Can't or won't. But this is what I'm trying to say. This is why it's a worry for me. Forget Zinedine Zidane. Antonio Conte is the favourite and linked with that job. He goes in there. You don't want to press. Are you going to argue back with Conte? That's the difference. Are you not going to do what Conte wants you to do, or are you not going to do what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants you to do? There's no fear factor from that manager, and this is why it is a concern from me. Look, there you go, Chris Brack hit the nail on the head. This is why it's a concern from me. Yeah, I'm glad that we're 8 points clear today, and like I said yesterday on the Red Sea podcast, is a watershed moment. It's a watershed moment.
Yeah,
that now puts significant daylight between us and Manchester United in the chasing pack. Yeah. They are 8 points off. They're 9 points off top spot. Terry Flores from the Football Terrace on our show referenced this. How do United in their current state make up 8 points or even 7 points, which they are behind City in the top 3, to put themselves back into top 4 or title contention in their current state? This is why these fixtures, when we're talking about Brighton, we're talking about Everton, we're talking about Newcastle, Leeds, Leicester, Aston Villa, these kind of games are crucial. Because if we drop points in here, all of a sudden, City start to pull away. Chelsea start to pull away. And we may find ourselves 3 or 5 points behind those teams.
They're going to be relentless, aren't they? You know, every single week now, you need to expect City and Chelsea are going to win. Because I remember when we were chasing them in that 98 point season, every single week, City win, City win, City win. Mm-hmm. So you have to win just to keep a point behind them. And you just have to pray that one week they drop some points. You know, I think Man City drew at home to Southampton 0-0. It can happen because when we come up against them head to head, sometimes we don't make the most of those because they're 6-pointers. You know, if we go and beat Man City at the Etihad, that's +3, and they're not getting any points that day. So I agree with what you said earlier. Last season, the bottom 6 teams were the toughest teams to beat. And I know we were injury ravaged, but teams that park the bus, we always tend to struggle against. You know, Watford, I know, was a bit different. They had a new manager. They didn't really have a system. They're going to be down the bottom. You know, we swiped Norwich away. The revenge tour is looking good. We've beaten the stubborn Burnley side on the opening day. It's looking good. It's looking positive. If we keep
you all doubted me about revenge tour, and you all doubted me. It's happening.
If we keep the majority of this squad fit, we're going to have a good season. I'll be very, very surprised if we're not in with a shout of the title with a couple of games to go. So, as Mo Salah keeps on scoring at the rate he's scoring, Jota, Mane, and Firmino stay fit. We can rotate, 3 of those 4. The back 4's sorted. It's just that midfield that as soon as Gini Wijnaldum left, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's a hole.
Do it.
There's too many injury-prone players, isn't there, in that midfield? You know, you've listed them. Thiago is injury-prone. Chamberlain is injury-prone. Keita is injury-prone. Milner is 36 in January and is going to retire in the summer, or at least leave us. So if we can just about navigate the midfield, I think we're going to be very, very close. Chelsea and City have 2 11s, let's be fair. We don't quite have that. We're very, very close to it. You know, likes of Tsimikas have come through. Konate's playing well. Gomez isn't even featuring. You know, we've played probably 7 or 8 midfielders this season. You know, as I said, 3 of the front 4 is strong. But once we get a couple of injuries to key men, that could be the difference. So fingers crossed, everybody stays healthy and we can keep going.
I agree as well. Guys, quick shout out. This is big. New women's show coming on the LFC Daytrippers. Make sure you're keeping your eyes out for that. Big shout out to you, Chris Brack, for that. Also, this would be tasty, but let's not speculate because January window is a little bit of a while away. Guys, we're just going to close the show.
Brilliant.
Thank you for, mate, honestly.
Absolutely. We still talk about that 4-1 with Torres in the grey kit against Vidic, don't we? And
maybe this eclipses this.
We needed an update, didn't we? I think they put a stat up of like the best results ever. And I think 1895 we beat them 5-0 or so, 7-1 or something. But apart from that, I think this is the best result in the history that anybody that's alive will remember. So fantastic day at the office. At Old Trafford as well. This isn't at Anfield. We've gone to
their backyard.
In their backyard. We've crushed them 5-0. I'm keeping an eye on Sky Sports News to see if Ollie is still in the job
guys,
come Monday morning.
Just a quick one. If you haven't seen the tweet that LFC Daytrippers put out from Shawnee with his absolute scathing rant about how he wants to annihilate Manchester United in their backyard. They're a shithouse of a team. I'm telling you, boys, go and find that tweet. Yeah. Kev, retweet it again so everyone can see it on the timeline, because that tweet today is life. We went in their backyard and we absolutely annihilated them. Do not let any of your Manchester United friends or colleagues even get a word in edgeways on Monday morning. You walk in there with your head held high, with a liver bird, and tell them you are in the fucking mud. We've been the Red Sea Podcast. This has been your match reaction show with myself, Tiago's father, and the Southern Scouser. Liverpool 5, Manchester United 0. In the theatre of dreams, that is Old Trafford.
Theatre of nightmares.
The theatre of nightmares. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the mud. Cristiano Ronaldo in the mud. Cavani in the mud. Bruno in the mud. Every single one of them in the mud. Liverpool Football Club reigns supreme. And we are going to be on our way to 20 league titles. We're over and we're out.